Tennessee.
Chronic absenteeism is on the rise.
Sophia A., absent.
Julio M., absent.
These absences are often due to the absence of crucial needs like food, transportation, and health care.
Olivia H., absent.
Preston L., absent.
But site coordinators from communities and schools connect kids to the resources they need so they show up prepared and ready to learn.
Jacob O.,
present.
Visit communitiesandschools.org. Being present matters.
Seasonal flu continues to bring offices and school systems to a standstill. Murray County schools have announced they will close for the rest of the week due to a flu outbreak. They join a list of school systems across the state that have been dealing with widespread illness. Will Nunway, Access Tennessee News.
The GNS in our call stands for Good Neighbor Station. That's been our objective since 1947. WGNS, AM, FM, and online. We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro. FM
because we want to make sure that that person is contacted to let them know that they won the banana pudding. Okay? So just leave us a phone number. If you want to make that your phone number, that's fine. Just be sure to contact the person and say, hey, all you have to do is go to Slick Pig, pick up your banana pudding to celebrate your birthday. So today, Ryan Campbell is our birthday club winner.
Now, here's your Rutherford weather forecast.
All right, lots to get to here on the forecast. It's 50 right now with cloudy skies in Murfreesboro. 49 with fog and mist. I think we can probably say fog and mist here in Murfreesboro as well. And rain is just to the south, okay? We've got more rain, sometimes heavy at times, especially this afternoon into the evening hours.
Well, Brian, it looks like we'll see periods of showers here for this afternoon with cloudy skies, a high into the upper 50s. Winds out of the southeast around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, a chance for some showers and thunderstorms, cloudy with a low near 35. Thursday, skies will become mostly sunny, high around 43 degrees. Friday, sunny skies and a high around 53. Saturday, we'll have a chance for showers and storms, cloudy, high of 65. Sunday, chance for rain, a high of 49. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki.
All right, Jennifer, thank you for the update. The rain that we're going to have today is kind of coming up, moving up from the south. And the southern tier of Middle Tennessee already receiving rain. And it looks like here within the hour, we'll be in the rain. And once it starts raining, it's going to rain all day into the night, adding to the rain that we've had earlier in the week. Pretty big system here. And then the biggest rain event of them all coming this weekend on Saturday night through early Sunday, really Friday night through early Sunday, like the overnight hours late on Friday. And when that rain moves in, it's going to stay with us. Heavy rain in the forecast. And there is also the possibility of some storms in the afternoon on Saturday through early evening on Saturday. We're kind of watching that storm system as the possibility of maybe bringing us a bit of severe weather. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But from Friday night through Sunday morning, we're expecting anywhere from 3 to 4 inches, maybe upwards of 5 inches of rain just from the Friday night through early Sunday morning time frame. So flash flooding could be a problem this weekend. And again, we could have some storms that are strong to severe. Probably going to get a little better idea through the day today, especially tomorrow, of what we might expect from the storm system this weekend. So keep your eyes peeled. Stay with Rutherford Weather, RutherfordWX.com. That stands for Rutherford Weather, RutherfordWX.com. From the website, we have links to our social platforms, Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitch and X. Those are the platforms that you'll want to click on. Click on those icons on Rutherford Weather, RutherfordWX.com, and then go to the channel and like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That way, when we are live during impactful and severe weather and giving updates, you're notified. It'll tell you, hey, Rutherford Weather is on. We're tracking severe weather. So you'll want to do that. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. Now, here's another thing. If you want to go to your favorite social platform instead of the website, you're more than welcome to do that. You can search us up on any of the social platforms, RUCO Weather, R-U-C-O Weather. That stands for Rutherford Weather. We'll get through this weekend. And again, the Saturday storms, they're still... confidence is kind of low in the intensity of the storms, but we do expect, at least thunderstorm activity to bring that heavy rain, and some of those could be bring along with them damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes could be possible on Saturday. So we'll keep fine-tuning that forecast for you here from Rutherford Weather.
Good day, Rutherford County. This is Lee Colvin, financial advisor and CFP with Edward Jones. Let's get the latest business news from our financial desk.
Equity markets down in early trading today as the Consumer Price Index showed higher than expected inflation. Sector performance is broad, and it's broadly lower, honestly, as the real estate and energy stocks are leading the downside. Right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is off almost 400 points at 44,196 after a hotter than expected Consumer Price Index report. The S&P 500 is off 42 at 6,026. The NASDAQ is down 103 at 19,540.
From Wall Street to Church Street, that's the latest business news from the Edward Jones Financial Desk. I'm financial advisor and CFP Lee Colvin. Call 615-907-7056 or stop by our office on South Rutherford Boulevard in the Public Shopping Center.
Rutherford Issues on News Radio WGNS.
Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Our friends at Middle Tennessee Electric, they operate the Sharing Change. What is Sharing Change, you may say? Well, I'm glad you asked. Sharing Change is the charitable foundation of MTE, and through Sharing Change, well, you can round up your electric bills to the nearest dollar each month and support hundreds of nonprofits. Find out more at sharingchange.org. A check of world news coming up for you right now on WGNS. This update brought to you by the Low T Center.
CBS Radio News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. Last-minute Valentine's Day shoppers are seeing red over inflation.
There's 17 pieces in here. That's almost $1 for a single piece of chocolate.
Love costs plenty in that heart-shaped box of chocolates in Boston, and President Trump blamed Joe Biden today for the January inflation report. The government says consumer prices were up 3% over 1 year ago. CBS's Jill Schlesinger says there were increases in everything from gas to groceries.
The cost of food was up by 2.5% from a year ago. Of course, it costs more to eat out of the home than in the home. Food away from home higher by 3.4% for the year for the last 12 months. And if you eat at home, it will cost you 1.9% more than it did a year ago.
On social media, President Trump said interest rates should be lowered today. In Brussels, Defense Secretary Hegseth said NATO membership for Ukraine might not be realistic, and he called for an international force without U.S. troops to provide future security guarantees for the country, suggesting Ukraine might have to live with Russia's gains on the battlefield.
We want, like you, a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine. But we must start by recognizing that returning to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders is an unrealistic objective.
Freedom after years in Russian captivity for American teacher Mark Fogel, who was welcomed at the White House.
The love that I was given sustained me for 3.5 years in a prison that had me in hospitals for more than 100 days.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe in Washington.
President Trump said the terms of the deal were very fair, but this morning the Kremlin says an unidentified Russian citizen was freed in the United States in exchange for Fogel's release.
8 inspectors general fired by President Trump have filed a federal lawsuit claiming their terminations were unlawful. In the nation's mid-Atlantic states, snow and ice, as we hear from CBS's Jim Crisula.
More than 80 million people are under winter storm warnings and advisories. Air travel has been snarled. Many schools and businesses are closed. Tens of thousands are without power. Still, Mary Ann Baker and her family are enjoying the snow on Maryland's eastern shore.
Definitely a fan, especially with boys. We've already built a snowman. Now they said they wanted to go sledding, so here we are.
There's a significant risk of severe storms today, including tornadoes, across the mid and deep south.
The Education Department today rescinded a Biden memo that threatened to upend college name, likeness, and image payments. Checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 274 points, S&P down 27. This is CBS News.
All right, guys, if you're only middle-aged but wondering why it seems harder to keep up, you're not alone. It may be caused by low testosterone. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. But not just any TRT, not those websites offering only basic treatments. You have to see the provider specialist at Low T Center. They offer advanced personalized treatments with over a decade of experience. At Low T Center, you'll start with a simple test and get your results in about 25 minutes. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
SRM Concrete. With every new day, every sunrise, we build structures that stand the test of time. And upon their foundations are our homes, where we work, where our kids go to school. And with that comes tremendous pride. We don't just make concrete. We build relationships, trust, confidence. We're SRM Concrete. Build with us.
I'm Dalton Barrett with News Radio WGNS, and here's some of the top stories affecting Rutherford County on this Wednesday, February the 12th, 2025, on your Rutherford Roundup. Authorities in Tennessee have made arrests in 2 separate criminal investigations involving child exploitation and a multi-state retail theft ring. In Smith County, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has charged 29-year-old Nathan Tyler Goolsby of Pleasant Shade with 1 count of sexual exploitation of a minor. The investigation began in December of 2024 after the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children reported that an individual had uploaded multiple files of a child sexual abuse material to a Dropbox account. TBI agents identified Goolsby as the suspect and secured a warrant for his arrest on February 10th. He was taken into custody by the Smith County Sheriff's Office and booked into the Smith County Jail on a $20,000 bond. The TBI urges anyone with information on online child exploitation cases to report to authorities or visit cybertipline.org. Meanwhile, in Murfreesboro, authorities have recovered nearly $900,000 worth of stolen designer sunglasses linked to a multi-state retail theft ring. The stolen merchandise, taken from stores in Tennessee as well as South Carolina, was found in Miami, Florida. Thanks to a coordinated effort between the Murfreesboro Police Department, Homeland Security Investigations, and Miami law enforcement. 3 suspects from Miami, Alexander Trulio Gomez, Xavier Perez, and Lazaro Salazar, were arrested and charged with burglary, theft, and vandalism. They are accused of stealing a total of $1.2 million in merchandise and cash. All 3 suspects remain in custody at the Rutherford County Adult Detention Center on $1 million bonds each, with a court hearing scheduled for February the 13th. Authorities continue their investigation into both cases. Authorities in Murfreesboro are preparing for an upcoming court appearance in a homicide case that occurred outside of a gas station on Joe B. Jackson Parkway in May of 2024. The suspect, 27-year-old Juan Charco, is charged with first-degree murder of a 23-year-old Devon Loritz of Georgia, and the attempted first-degree murder of another individual, Eric Mitchell. Investigators believe that the fatal altercation stemmed from a dispute over the ownership of a Chrysler 300, which Loritz had previously purchased from Charco. The incident was captured on surveillance footage. Charco faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault, tampering with evidence, and theft of property. His arraignment is set for February 19th, with a plea hearing scheduled for March 11th in Rutherford County Circuit Court. Meanwhile, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee delivered his 7th State of the State address, highlighting legislative priorities and recent emergency response efforts. Governor Lee praised the General Assembly for its swift action following Hurricane Helene, which caused $1.2 billion of damages in East Tennessee. He outlined key initiatives, including investments in education, workforce development, and transportation infrastructure. The governor emphasized Tennessee's commitment to universal school choice, nuclear energy innovation, and conservation efforts, particularly around the Duck River. He also proposed financial support for farmers and self-sustaining housing programs to address affordability concerns. Governor Lee concluded by urging Tennesseans to embrace innovation while presenting traditional values, positioning the state as a leader in economic and technological advancement. Nearly 9 years after U.S. Marine Corps Captain Jeff Coos tragically lost his life during a training exercise for the Great Tennessee Air Show, his legacy continues to be honored in Rutherford County. Captain Coos, who served as a Blue Angel No. 6, was killed in a crash in Smyrna in June of 2016. Though he was originally from Colorado, the local community has embraced his memory through multiple tributes, including a memorial site featuring a retired Blue Angels aircraft at Lee Victory Park and an annual 6K race in his name. Additionally, the Captain Jeff Coos USMC Memorial Scholarship continues to support students in Smyrna. The scholarship, totaling $6,000, is awarded to 3 high school seniors from the area who plan to pursue post-secondary education. Smyrna Mayor Mary Esther Reed emphasized that education education was a passion for Captain Coos and his family, making the scholarship a meaningful way to carry on his commitment to learning. Meanwhile, in Laverne, city officials are working to recover from the recent announcement that Bridgestone will be closing its local plant, resulting in 700 job losses. While the decision is a significant setback, economic leaders remain optimistic about the city's future. Thomas Broker, Director of Economic Development, highlighted Laverne's growing appeal as a young, white-collar community with expanding housing and commercial opportunities. City officials report an influx of interest from businesses looking to invest in Laverne, particularly due to its central location near major interstates. Efforts are underway to attract new employers to the former Bridgestone site, and redevelopment plans include new grocery stores, restaurants, and infrastructure improvements. While the closure is a challenge, leaders are confident that Laverne's economy will continue to grow and adapt. That's all for now. For updates on these, as well as more local news stories, check out our website, wgnsradio.com, or follow us on social media at News Radio WGNS on Facebook, as well as on X. I'm Dalton Barrett with News Radio WGNS, and I'll talk to you later.
Where is the best security? We bring cutting edge protection with video monitoring.
That's the difference. Maples Realty and Auction.
I'm Betsy Maples Taylor with Maples Realty and Auction Company in Murfreesboro. Here's a look at our upcoming auction.
A state auction of a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home with a 2-car garage. The home well maintained and has new appliances. There's also an unfinished area on the second floor that could be converted into additional living space. See us Saturday, February 15th at 10 a.m. More information at maplesrealtyandauction.com.
Maples Realty and Auction.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Steve DeSager.
The NBA's late game went to Memphis, now 36-17 after winning at Phoenix 119-112 despite 34 points from Kevin Durant. New York got 40 points from Karl Anthony Towns in a victory at Indiana 128-115. Toronto ended a 4-game losing streak with a narrow win at Philadelphia 106-103. The Raptors also gave Brandon Ingram a 3-year extension. And Detroit led at halftime at Chicago 71-29. The Pistons won the game 132-92. In college basketball, wins for number 1 Auburn, number 2 ranked Alabama, and number 3 Florida. Number 5 Tennessee, though, fell at Kentucky 75-64, and Michigan beat 7th ranked Purdue 75-73. Indiana won at 11th ranked Michigan State, Kansas State over 13th ranked Arizona, UConn won at number 24 Creighton, and the Angels are signing closer Kenley Jansen.
Get old. Old National Bank, that is. Old National Bank has the experience and service you need to buy a home, make investments, even online and mobile banking. Old National Bank is in the borough on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
Old National Bank at 2230 Dr. MLK Jr. Boulevard, which used to be Mercury Boulevard.
Visit us and enjoy warm, homemade cookies at Old National Bank.
Old National Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is News Radio WGNS, Prime Time Sports.
Sponsored by the law offices of John Day. Our expanded office location is on Medical Center Parkway, just across the street from the hospital. If you've been injured, call us for a free consultation at 867-9900.
Well, last night we had both the Oakland-Riverdale games. Both games pretty good. Very competitive. Boys game went down to the wire, so you can check out the podcast at wgnssports.com. The Sir Pizza podcast right there for you. You can not only listen and download, but you can watch the game from Big G TV last night, girls and boys, right here on WGNS Oakland Riverdale. Now, coming up on Friday night, it's the last game of the regular season. We head back to Blackman. It's Blackman versus Siegel on Friday night, State Farm Prep Sports. You'll be able to listen to that here at 5:50 airtime, 6 o'clock for the girls' tip. Boys' game will follow, and that's here on the Big G. Don't forget, the Blue Raider baseball season kicks off this Friday. They've got Bowling Green coming into town for the weekend. And let's see, looks like a 3 o'clock Friday and Saturday at 1 o'clock. Sunday will be at 1 o'clock, and that'll be on the GoBlueRaiders.com website where you can listen to those games. Our first Blue Raider baseball game will be March 21st on radio. And speaking of the Blue Raiders, they're in action this weekend. We'll have both the men's and women's game. The women with Western Kentucky at 1:30 airtime. Joe Fisher will bring us the game here from the Murphy Center. Better yet, get out and go. Head to the game. Enjoy it out there. And then the men are at Western Kentucky. Chip Walters will bring that one to you beginning at 6:30 airtime. Both here on News Radio WGNS. And quick reminder, the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner hits the air at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. Be sure to tune in, presented by, or fueled by, because we've got to have food, right? It's McDonald's Murfreesboro and Donut Country, MTCS Cougar Corner, powered by TOA, Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, at 11:15. So a big week of sports continues. Then it's high school tournaments starting next Tuesday night. And that's a look at the latest in local sports. Access Tennessee News coming up for you here right now. Will Nunley has all the updates.
Access Tennessee News, I'm Will Nunley. Rain across the state has led to flooding issues. In Lawrence County, authorities rescued an Amish driver, horse, and buggy from rising floodwaters. A spokesperson from the Lawrence County Emergency Management Agency tells WKRN the horse and buggy were washed off Beasley Road near Lawrenceburg. The first responders were able to rescue the horse and the driver, both of which were uninjured. This as flood advisories were issued for several communities across the state. Stay tuned to this station for accurate local weather coverage. U.S. Marshals have captured a man wanted for murder in Jackson. Amarian Mitchell was captured by the U.S. Marshal Service at a home in Humboldt. This stems from a shooting on Roosevelt Parkway near the Jackson Fire Department that killed one and injured two other people back in May. A Madison County grand jury indicted Mitchell on charges of first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and employing a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. More news in 30 seconds.
For 20 years, Jeff's family-friendly restaurant has been the place where comfort food meets great company.
Food is great. Just gave me too much.
They season it well and give you enough that you don't have to worry about going away hungry.
Jeff's is open every day except Tuesday from 11 to 6 and Sundays 11 to 5. You can find them at 467 South Hancock Street just off MLK Boulevard.
I love it. The friendly hometown service. The food's great.
Come taste tradition at Jeff's family-friendly restaurant.
The Cumberland County Sheriff's Office and TBI are working to identify remains found in a wooded area. The discovery was made in the Mount Roosevelt Wildlife Management Area. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Office says deputies were dispatched to the area of Wetzel Road where the remains were discovered. Officials say the remains have been removed for further analysis. Will Nunley, Access Tennessee News.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by the law offices of John Day and AmeriCare Pest Control.
I've got pests, bees, buzzing, rodents running all through my house. Ants chewing wood, and look, there's a mouse. I'm overrun with pests, but you're gonna be sure, safe and secure. It's the last rites for those pests. Call the best of the best to get rid of your pests.
893-7111. AmeriCare Services Incorporated. Call us today. 893-7111.
For over 78 years, WGNS has been keeping you informed. Hey, it's Valentine's week, and you need to do something special for the one you love. Some great plays to enjoy this weekend. The Moon Over Buffalo at the Center for the Arts in Uptown Murfreesboro this weekend through February the 16th. That's The Moon Over Buffalo. And over in Smyrna at the Springhouse Theater, it's The Play That Went Wrong, and that continues weekends through February the 23rd. And if you just moved to the area, learn more about our local history. Join the Rutherford County Historical Society from 9 until noon this Saturday at the old one-room Ransom Schoolhouse. Ransom School is at 717 North Academy Street. Don't forget the Red Cross is critically low on blood. Please give the gift of life. Don't throw away Old Glory. Bring your tattered American flag to WGNS and let the girls from BSA Troop 2019 at Trinity United Methodist Church retire it with dignity.
Plus, we also recycle Bibles. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Security. We bring cutting-edge protection with live video monitoring, access control, entry. Keep your business safe and connected. From small business to large enterprises, RX Seamless Inc.
Electric, our friends at MTE since 1936 have provided light, comfort, and connection to our community. As your trusted energy advisor, MTE is always here to help. Check them out online at mte.com or that very useful My MTE app would be a good thing to download for iOS and Android. Well, time to catch up with Brent Carter, Rutherford County Emergency Medical Services, and you've been running around, like, what would my grandfather say, like a scalded dog?
Yeah, it's pretty much a scalded dog. Yes, sir. We've been busy as all get out. This county's not slowing down on growth at all either.
No, I don't think we're going to see that, do you?
I don't think so either, until they run out of dirt, you know.
Yeah, then they'll build up.
Well, then we'll get 2, 3, 7, 12-story buildings, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, and with that growth, of course, keeping up with emergency medical services, I mean, you're probably growing in staff too, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're growing. We've got 18 trucks on the road, 24/7, 365 right now, plus 6 of the convalescent transport trucks. So,
and that is like to transport from like a hospital to rehab or something like that?
Yeah, hospital to rehab, hospital to hospital, you know, dialysis, things like that.
Gotcha.
But, and them 6 trucks, they're very busy too.
Yeah.
But the 911 trucks are they're hammered daily. And when this rain and weather changes,
yeah,
you know, people's driving's not the best at sometimes, so.
Right. Well, I mean, so what is a day? What does a day look like typically? I mean, a busy day. I mean, are you going from one call to the next to the next?
Well, with 18 trucks, we're averaging about 125 calls in a day, a 24-hour shift. So that's what, 1.5 calls, something like that, per truck per hour. So that's a lot of calls.
Let's see.
Yeah, so you got your calculator.
Yeah, you had 124 calls.
About 124, 125. That's an average for
okay.
a 24-hour shift.
And at 18 trucks.
At 18 trucks.
Well, that's 6.8. So maybe
so
say
that's
7
calls
that eat per truck.
Yeah. So now decrease some of those in Eagleville, Kittrell, Las Casas, knock them down to 4.
Okay.
And then that brings all the load. I mean, heck, I can tell you right here.
That brings all the load back into the city,
yeah,
I would think.
I just happened to bring a piece of paper, you know. In-town trucks, last month, one truck did 284 calls. The other one did 282 calls. I mean, heck, Eagleville did 42. You know, but just the in-town trucks, 255, 309, 273, 335. The busiest truck that's been winning the award for the busiest truck for months is the one right there on Fortress.
Really?
Yes,
wow.
sir.
I guess I mean that's where a higher density population is.
But that's the truck in that area besides Smyrna and then the new Rockville station out there at the public safety. So, you know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It is. Last month we did 4,334 calls.
Jeez. So
for 1 month.
If you're on one of those trucks that does 280 a month or so, that's I mean, you're going from one to the next to the next.
Pretty much, yeah. They don't have too much of a downtime.
Is it a 24-hour shift?
It's a 24-hour shift still right now. So they work 24 hours and they're off 72.
Yeah.
So we've got 4 shifts. And, average day, 13, 15 calls for in-town trucks.
Yeah, that's got to be tough.
Per in-town truck.
I mean, by the time you finish with one, you're going to the next.
Yeah, yeah. And, with all our trucks being GPS, it doesn't affect the county, the residents, because all our trucks are GPS. So if your phone call comes in your area, Siegel area, and that Siegel truck is out, the next closest truck on GPS is going to get that call in your area. So our response times haven't gone up too much. They're still around 6.5 minutes by the time you call 911 to the time you have a truck there. So that's a good thing.
Sure.
We're not affecting any of that. And the hospitals, but as soon as you drop them off and get back in your truck, you're almost catching another call somewhere.
So somewhere in the truck, there's a button that says we're done and we're available. And then they're probably getting it right.
And it don't matter. If you're at Eagleville and you had to come to St. Thomas Rutherford, to drop off a patient, and as soon as you hit that button in your truck, you're available, you might be in town for a while because you'll be that closest truck.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you. So, you would think that, well, if you want a little lighter load, you get that Eagleville truck or whatnot. Yep. But if you get called into Murfreesboro,
once you get called into the vortex, you may be there a while.
Yeah.
How Smyrna's getting busy, Laverne's getting busy. It's just crazy. We need some more trucks up there.
In the north end of town.
Yeah, we do. They're busy. Our response times are still the same up there, but they could use a little help.
Well, they're definitely growing in that direction too. What is it like to work a 24-hour shift like that? It has to be just exhausting.
It beats on you for a while, but it depends. If you get too much downtime and then get woke up, say 3 o'clock in the morning, you've been asleep for maybe an hour and a half, it's going to wear on you a little bit more. But if you're consistently busy and you get a 2.5 hour nap, hopefully, if you can get that, then you can finish out.
Those overnight hours, is it maybe a little less?
It does if you're really busy during the day. Some trucks are busier at night. It just depends on the areas of Rutherford County.
Yeah.
Some are a little more busier than night and some are a little more busier during the day. So
it's very interesting.
It doesn't really matter. You're there. We're taking care of everybody in the county. And,
would it be easier just to stay up that 24 hours and push through?
If you could, yeah. When I was on trucks, we've all done it, sleep in your boots in a recliner, because you just never know when them tones are going to go off.
Yeah.
And who's the closest truck?
If the tones go off, that's you, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, 2 of our stations have 2 trucks at them. The one at Salem and the, where is the other one? I say, the one over here by where the old hospital was.
Oh, yeah.
Burton Street. They have 2 trucks in there. So you might hear their tones go off, which if you're asleep, those aren't mine, but you woke up.
Right,
Anyway.
Doesn't
so
help
I don't
much.
know if it's better or worse being at a station with 2 trucks. Then they alternate, but most of the time they're out together anyways.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Once they go out, I would think many times they don't get back to the station for a long time, too.
It takes a while sometimes.
Yeah. Especially if you get caught in that Murfreesboro vortex,
you get caught in that vortex. Yep. You don't know when you're going to go back. You don't know when. You could start your truck at 7 o'clock in the morning and start checking it off, and it may be 1 o'clock before you finish checking it off. So they're doing good.
Yeah.
Keeping that response time down and the care we're giving. It's like you and I were talking, our education has just boomed. Trey Cook stepped in and with Steve Hart, and we're teaching everything now. We are offering more advanced stuff. We've got the medical directors on board. Our patient care has just increased by education-wise leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Brian Gates.
So are this like with school groups and things like that? Or,
no, this is for
just
our
within.
medics.
Oh, okay.
Just from within.
Awesome.
Just our medics, being able, what's new, what's going out, what's coming in, getting them prepared, showing them new devices, showing them better, that's going to better help the patients. Whether it's breathing, whether it's CPR, whether it's whatever, airways, things
I'm sure
like
technology help. I mean, that changes so constantly.
It does. So, I'm constantly looking for, I'm getting a list and having to look for different items on, where we can get them, because Brian's goal is we're not going to skimp at all on patient care. We're going to have our medics and our EMTs trained up to the highest level that we can get them, and we're going to have the equipment on the trucks to take care of Rutherford County.
How long has he been on the job now?
Shoot,
I don't know.
3 years
Has it been
maybe.
3? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's smoking it.
Yeah. I mean, going full throttle, it seems.
Yep, he is. I mean, I wouldn't want his job at all. Most of it's politics, but I mean, he's smoking it.
Yeah.
Everybody's liking him. Everybody loves working for him. People in Rutherford County is pretty lucky for what they have from an ambulance service.
Right.
I mean,
Brent Carter is joining us, Rutherford County Emergency Medical Services. I did have a question about when these trucks go out and they come back and they're doing all these routes. I mean, somewhere along the line, you've got to restock the truck, right?
We do. Most of our trucks can go a couple days.
Oh, okay.
We've got enough stock on it. If they get into some really bad calls, we've got 2 satellite supply rooms, one in town and one up in Smyrna, that if they had a bad call, they used a lot of equipment on there, they can just swing in there, restock, and then take them out of service, let them restock. If they run out of oxygen, we can't do that.
Right.
So they can swap out their main O2s and things like that, and then back into service, and you're the closest truck then.
Yeah. But somebody's got to stay on top of, we need to order this to make sure the trucks can stay stocked and all that.
They check our truck off every morning, and if they're low, they'll send it to their supervisors, and then we'll get it filled and get it to them, so that they're restocked for that day of what they used, say, yesterday. Everything's back up to par on all the trucks, and then it's all of our jobs to make sure that them supply rooms have what they need. And
so all the supervisors, I mean, you've got to make sure that
everybody's on board.
Yeah.
That's one good thing is everybody's on board. There's 3 supervisors per shift. So, they're constantly, if they need it and they can't get in, or, they call them supervisors are 100%. They'll take it right to the station, right to the trucks. If they're sitting at the ER, hey, we're down. Now, oxygen, things like that, they can't do that.
Sure.
Because we're not supposed to haul it. But if it's any other kind of supplies other than oxygen, they'll get it to them.
That's really interesting. That it takes a lot of planning and knowing what protocols are in place to do this, and who's on call, who to call to make sure that happens.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I mean, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of moving parts that a lot of people don't see. I mean, as well as I do, most people don't even know what an ambulance does.
Well, that's true.
It's really, the ambulance really doesn't do nothing but drive up and down the road. It's the paramedics and the EMTs that take care of you.
Until you need it, right?
Yeah, until you need it.
Well, I live very close to the one at Siegel, and I hear it all the time, every night. I mean, 2 or 3 times a night. You've got their call volume there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, last month they did 282 calls, so I'm sure them sirens and blinking lights wake you up once in a while.
I mean, well, I kind of deadened the noise in my room a little bit there, but I mean, they're constantly busy. I mean, you sit down watching TV at night, you hear it at least 2 times a night, if not more.
Oh yeah.
So staying very busy out there.
And they're one of the transport trucks too. So if we got an emergency transfer that St. Thomas is, going to ship to Nashville for the level 1 trauma, or, some specialized stuff that St. Thomas Rutherford's not doing, they're one of the trucks that are taking them patients.
Is that because they're close to the sports com where they have the helipad too? I mean,
well, no.
Oh, okay.
It's mainly just out of the hospital.
Oh, gotcha.
And they're not in an emergency where they're going to, fly anybody. So it's coming out of the hospital. They don't have the doctors on staff at X time at night, and they'll ship them to Nashville, so we'll run the emergency transfers.
There's got to be a lot of great communication between the hospital too and the ambulance service.
There's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to.
Everything's run pretty much through our dispatch now, and there is some transfers. They'll call the supervisors and ask their opinion on what they need. If we've got trucks available to run to Nashville or not, and they'll make that call.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff. Well, thanks for coming in and giving us kind of an update on what's going on with EMS.
We're just growing.
Yeah. We'll keep growing. Stay easy. Keep it easy out
keep
there.
Calling 911. We'll keep showing up.
Well, that's true. That's true. Brent Carter joining us here this morning with Rutherford County Emergency Medical Services. And a reminder, if you missed any part of the show, you can check the podcast. It will be up here in just a couple of moments at wgnsradio.com under podcast and Rutherford Issues. Have a good day.
(5893) and let's plan together.
It's now time to take a look at today's death notices. With the latest updates, here is WGNS's Steve Thornton.
Michael Andrew Caldwell, age 63, passed away peacefully at a live hospice with heart complications on February the 9th. He was born in Chicago, Illinois, and a resident of Rutherford County. Mike was preceded in death by his parents, Andrew Jackson Caldwell and May Underwood Caldwell, and brother David Caldwell. He is survived by his one true love of 44 years, Teresia Caldwell, daughter Christy Caldwell, son Michael Caldwell, sister Betty Shores, grandchildren, and a host of other family members. Visitation will be today, Wednesday, February the 12th, at Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home, 4 until 7 p.m. These are the arrangements today for Michael Andrew Caldwell.